Have you ever sat quietly, looked back at your life and asked yourself, if only I'd known these things sooner, maybe everything would have been different? But then we realize, life never really gets easier. We just become stronger, calmer, and we learn how to love ourselves a little more. At this age, we have already walked through enough seasons of sunshine and rain in life. We have loved and we have lost. We have laughed so much and cried for a long time too. We have once given everything to others, only to realize that the most important thing is learning how to live peacefully with ourselves. Time waits for no one, but when we learn to cherish every remaining moment, each morning becomes a gift, an opportunity to live more gently, more deeply, and with enough compassion to smile at our own past. Today, I want to share with you some simple lessons, things we should have known earlier, but even learning them late is still in time, to live the rest of our lives with meaning, peace, and true happiness. When we have walked through almost all of life's journey, we finally understand. Happiness is not about having everything go our way, but about learning to accept what comes and what has been. We cannot control others, nor can we change the past, but we can choose how to live today. And perhaps the very first lesson is to learn how to recognize and accept, to recognize what is worth keeping and what should be left behind. Because sometimes letting go does not mean losing something. It means finding peace again in our hearts. Lesson 1. Awareness and acceptance. There is something we only begin to understand after our youth, that not everything in life is within our control. When we were young, we believed that as long as we tried hard enough, things would eventually go our way. But the longer we live, the more we realize there are things in life we simply cannot force, and there are choices others make that, no matter how much we love them, we cannot make for them. Awareness is when we start to see that truth clearly, with calmness, without anger or blame. We understand that everyone has their own path, and what we can do is simply live our part of life the best we can. Acceptance is when we stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start saying, maybe this came to teach me something. Acceptance does not mean surrendering. It means knowing when to let go so we can hold on to what truly matters, to hold on to peace, to dignity, and to the beautiful memories, without resentment for what is gone. When we learn to accept, we also learn to take life more lightly. We no longer chase the past, nor fear the future. We simply sit quietly, cherishing the present moment. A warm meal, the laughter of our grandchildren, and a morning with soft sunlight on the porch. Because at some point, we realize that peace does not come from a perfect life, but from accepting its imperfections with a gentle heart. Perhaps that is the most beautiful gift of growing old, when we stop trying to change the world and start changing the way we see it. Lesson 2. Health is the greatest wealth. When we are young, we often trade our health for work, money, or endless worries. We believe we still have plenty of time, that our bodies are strong, and that we can always start over whenever we want. But one day, when your knees crack as you get out of bed, when a single cold wind leaves you tired for an entire week, that is when you finally understand. Nothing is more precious than a healthy breath. Health is not only about the body, but also about the mind and spirit. A strong body with an anxious heart is still a weary person. Taking care of your health is not about fighting against aging. It is about learning how to live peacefully with it. There is no need for complicated secrets. Just sleep enough, eat simply, walk slowly every day, and do not carry heavy burdens in your heart. Eat a little less, but eat with joy. Work a little less, but work with happiness. Laugh more, because a smile is the cheapest and most effective medicine of all. When we take care of ourselves, it is not because we are afraid of dying, but because we cherish the time we still have. We want to stay clear-minded enough to watch our children and grandchildren grow up, to have the strength to step onto the porch and watch the sunset, and to remember the faces that have walked with us through half of our lives. People often say, when you have health, you have everything. But only after living through most of a lifetime do we truly understand what that means. Money, fame, or possessions, they all become meaningless if we no longer have the strength to enjoy them. Treat your health as a lifelong companion. Listen to your body when it needs rest, and learn to say no to the things that drain your heart. Because health is the only gift that, once lost, no one can ever give back to you. Maybe today, we are no longer as quick or capable as before, no longer able to do the things we once did. But as long as we can still breathe, still sigh the light, and still hear laughter, we are living a life worth cherishing. Take care of your health as if it were a precious treasure, because it truly is the key that unlocks every remaining joy in life. Lesson 3. Family and relationships. The older we get, the more we realize. The most important thing in life is not how much money or fame we have, but how many people truly care about us. When we were young, we were busy with work, goals, and endless races. Sometimes, in chasing after big things, we forgot the simple joys right in front of us. A meal with someone waiting at the table, a voice calling dad or mom, or just a cup of tea already poured and waiting. As we step into the twilight years, the house grows quieter and the laughter of children becomes less frequent. That is when we realize family is the place we return to when there is nowhere else in the world left to go. Family is not perfect. There will be misunderstandings and words that cause pain. But if we can look at each other with compassion, every crack can heal again. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It means choosing love over resentment. Spend time with your loved ones while you still can. A short phone call, a shared meal, or simply sitting together in silence. These small moments may one day become the most precious memories when we look back. Do not be sad when you see your children and grandchildren grow up and begin their own lives. That is a sign you have done your part well. Love is not about holding on tightly, but about watching from afar with trust and pride. Beyond family, keep a few genuine friends around you. You do not need many. Just a few you can trust, who can listen in silence when you need them. The older we get, the more we understand. A small circle full of love is worth more than a large crowd of pretense. And if one day someone leaves your life, learn to thank them for being there and let them go gently. Not everyone who comes into our lives is meant to stay forever. Some come to teach us about love, and also how to let go without pain. Family, friends, and loved ones, they are the true treasures of a lifetime. Because in the end, what makes us happy is not how long we have lived, but how deeply we have loved and been loved in return. Lesson 4. Preserving dignity and self-respect. The longer we live, the deeper we understand one simple truth. No one can make us feel small unless we forget our own worth. Aging does not take away our dignity. It only tests whether we have the strength to hold on to it. Keeping dignity does not mean being stubborn, but knowing when to stay silent, when to speak, and when to walk away from things unworthy of us. Some people spend their whole lives living for others, always giving in, enduring, afraid to offend. Only when their hair turns gray do they realize sometimes being too kind is another way of hurting yourself. Having self-respect does not mean arrogance. It means knowing your own value. Do not accept relationships that bring you pain out of fear of loneliness. Do not forget how to love yourself just because you want to be loved. At this age, we no longer need to prove anything. We do not need to be better than anyone, nor do we need everyone's approval. What we truly need is to live honestly and to be at peace with ourselves. If someone does not respect you, walk away. If someone only comes to you when they need something, let them go. Kindness is precious, but it only has meaning when given to the right people. Learn to say no when you need to, because sometimes no is the gentlest form of protection for your soul. Do not let anyone make you feel lesser because of age, circumstances, or health. Growing old does not make us weaker. It makes us more genuine, more perceptive, and more aware of what truly matters. Dignity is something no one can take away from you. Even if your body grows frail and your voice trembles, you can still stand tall, speak kindly, and live truthfully with your conscience. People may forget what we have done, but they will always remember how we lived. Keeping self-respect is the quiet, steadfast way we leave behind our most beautiful mark on this life. Silent, enduring, yet never fading. Lesson 5. Finding meaning and purpose in the rest of life. As we grow older, we begin to witness many things slowly leaving our lives. Work comes to an end. Friends drift away. Health is not what it once was, and sometimes we ask ourselves, what am I still living for? It is a deeply honest question, and a profoundly human one. Because no matter our age, we all need to feel useful, to believe that our existence still means something to the world around us. The meaning of old age does not lie in how much we can still do, but in the fact that we still want to live, to give, and to love. We may no longer have the strength for grand things, but even a heartfelt piece of advice, a comforting hand to hold, or a story shared with the younger generation, those are priceless gifts. Some people find joy in tending a small garden behind their home. Some find meaning in cooking a warm meal for their family. Others feel happiness teaching a grandchild how to tie their shoes. All of these moments hold value because they remind us that we are still alive, still connected, still leaving gentle traces of love in the world. Do not think that growing old is the end of dreams. As long as you still breathe, you can begin again. A new hobby, a short trip, or simply learning to love yourself a little more each day. Old age is not the fading season. It is the harvest season, when the heart has matured enough to understand and peaceful enough to truly feel every moment. A purpose in life does not always have to be grand. Sometimes it is as simple as waking up in the morning, opening the door, taking a deep breath, and softly saying to yourself, "Today I'm still here, and I will live well." Life never loses its meaning. Only when we stop looking for it does it fade. No matter how many years have passed, we can always choose to live kindly, gratefully, and with love. Because a meaningful life is not measured by what we achieve, but by what we leave in the hearts of those around us. Lesson 6. Managing money and staying secure. In old age, money is not everything, but as we grow older, we understand more than anyone else that lacking money can take away our freedom and sometimes even our peace of mind. When we were young, we worked tirelessly. Money came and went, and we did not care too much. But as the years go by, every bit of savings becomes a source of reassurance. Not because we are greedy, but because we crave the feeling of safety, the sense that we can still take care of ourselves without becoming a burden to anyone. We save not just to survive, but to live with control. To have control over our choices, our health care, and even the final decisions of our lives. That is part of dignity. It is how we stay in charge of our own existence. Do not be afraid to talk about money. Money itself is not bad. It is how we use it that decides whether we feel peace or regret. Learn to spend consciously. Prioritize what is truly necessary and never spend just to fill loneliness or emotional emptiness. Keep a personal savings account, even if it is small, as a reminder to yourself, I am still independent. I can still take care of me. Do not lend money if you still have doubts in your heart. Do not hesitate to say no when someone tries to take advantage of your kindness. The older we get, the more we must protect our safety, not just for our wallets, but for our hearts. Organize your papers, savings books, insurance, and will. Do not leave things in chaos for your family to worry about. Doing this is not pessimism. It is a way of choosing peace for the years you have left, a way of keeping life simple and unburdened. And remember, money is only a tool. It can buy medicine or food, but it cannot buy love or peace. Do not save so much that you forget how to enjoy what you have earned. A delicious meal, a short trip, a small gift for your grandchild. Those joys are worth far more than any number on a bank statement. Financial independence does not mean being rich. It means having enough to keep your head high, enough to say, I am doing fine with a calm smile. Keep your money, but never let money keep you. Live simply, safely, and with preparation. That is the way to spend your old age comfortably, with a peaceful heart, just like when life first began. Lesson 7. Emotional balance and inner peace. There are times in life when we no longer fear illness nor poverty, but we fear the days when our hearts are no longer at peace. In youth, we are quick to anger, quick to feel hurt. But after living through almost an entire lifetime, we realize that the anger, the arguments, the need to be right or wrong, none of them are worth losing even one night's sleep over. Peace is not the absence of storms around us. It is knowing how to stay still while the waves are still there. It does not come naturally. It comes from practice, from how we choose to respond to everything that happens. Learn to pause before reacting. Do not rush to speak. Do not rush to judge. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, does this really matter to me? 9 times out of 10, the answer will be no. Old age is the perfect time to let go of the heaviness we have carried for half a lifetime, to release regrets, resentments, and the need to prove anything to anyone. No one expects us to be strong or perfect anymore. We only need peace, and that alone is beautiful enough. Learn to talk less and listen more. Stay close to those who make your heart feel light and distance yourself from those who bring only chaos. Do not let others control your emotions, because the moment they can do that, you have unknowingly handed them your peace. Emotions come and go like waves. Do not resist them. Let them pass, and soon you will see the water become calm again. Find joy in small things. A rainy afternoon, the scent of fresh tea, the song of birds in the morning, or a child's laughter. These things may not make us young again, but they warm the heart and make the days worth living. Inner peace is a gift. No one can give it to us. Only we can create it. It comes when we learn to accept ourselves, forgive others, and stay silent when words are no longer needed. In old age, if we cannot live grandly, then let us live gently. If we cannot bring joy to many, let us at least bring peace to ourselves. Because peace, in the end, is the greatest reward life gives to those who know how to let go and how to be content. Lesson 8. Loneliness and the art of living alone. Perhaps, among all the challenges of old age, loneliness is the one that people fear the most. No more familiar footsteps, no more someone waiting at the dinner table, no more long conversations deep into the night. Only ourselves remain in a quiet room with memories stretching across the walls like the fading afternoon light. But maybe loneliness is not really the enemy. If we learn how to see it differently, it can become a gentle companion, a sacred stillness that helps us understand ourselves better. When we were young, we needed others to fill the emptiness. We feared being alone, feared silence, feared facing our own thoughts. But as we grow older, we begin to see. Silence can also be a form of peace, and being alone does not always mean being lonely. Living alone is an art. The art of learning how to have conversations with yourself. It is knowing how to brew your own cup of tea, to smile at your reflection in the mirror, and to feel warmth in your heart, even when there is no one beside you. Loneliness can bring sadness, but it also helps us grow. Because only in silence can we truly hear our inner voice. To know what really makes us happy and what was merely a habit from years gone by. Use your alone time to do what you love. Read a book, write down a few memories, tend to your garden, cook a comforting meal, or simply sit and watch the sunset drift slowly across the sky. Those moments are not empty. They are life's gentle way of whispering to you. You are still here, and you are still living. And if one day loneliness feels too heavy, remember, there are still people out there who need you. An old friend, a grandchild, a neighbor. Sometimes, a simple, "How are you?" or a warm smile is enough for two hearts to soothe each other. Loneliness does not destroy us. It is the fear of loneliness that makes us weak. Once we accept it as a part of life, we realize that even in silence there is sound, in emptiness there is love, and in solitude there is peace. Learn to live harmoniously with loneliness, because in the end, each of us is our own lifelong companion. And if we can learn to be at peace with ourselves, then there is nothing left in life to fear. Lesson 9. Learning to forgive and let go. The longer we live, the more wounds we carry, some inflicted by others, and some by ourselves. When we were young, we held on to anger and pain as a way to remember, as a way to prove that we were right and that someone else was wrong. But there comes a time when our hair turns gray that we suddenly realize, if we do not let go, the one who suffers most is ourselves. Forgiveness is not forgetting. Forgiveness is when we are strong enough to look back at the past and feel no pain in our hearts. It is when we can think of someone and no longer feel hatred, only compassion. Compassion for them and for the version of ourselves who once suffered so deeply. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means learning to release what has already run its course. No one can hold on to a hand that has already chosen to let go, and no one can change what has already happened. Time can blur everything, but only when we truly let go can the heart begin to heal. Some people spend their entire lives holding on to resentment, and they grow old in bitterness. Others choose to forgive, and they grow old in peace. The same human life. But it is how we let go that determines whether we live lightly or heavily. Forgive others because they may have hurt you once, but if you keep holding on to it, you're the one who hurts yourself hundreds of times after. And most importantly, forgive yourself. Because there are mistakes we cannot go back to fix. All we can do is smile and say, I did the best I could. See every pain as a teacher, here to give us a lesson about people and destiny. And when that lesson is over, thank it and let it go. When we learn to release, our hearts feel lighter, our faces more at peace, and our sleep becomes gentler. Because forgiveness does not make others more deserving. It sets us free. Free from the past, from resentment, from old pain. And in that freedom, we can finally live the rest of our lives lightly, kindly, and full of grace. Lesson 10. Gratitude and the joy of living. Each day, after all the ups and downs, the gains and losses, the meetings and partings, we finally realize true happiness does not come from grand things, but from the ability to be grateful for the small, ordinary moments that happen every day. When we were young, we lived in a hurry. We kept waiting for someday. When we had enough money, when our children succeeded, when life finally became stable, only then would we allow ourselves to feel at peace. But really, whoever knows when enough is? Sometimes we chase after one big joy and miss hundreds of small joys quietly smiling all around us. Gratitude is waking up in the morning and realizing that we are still able to breathe. It is hearing the sound of birds, of laughter, of wind through the porch, and knowing we are still alive in this world. It is looking around and seeing that love still exists. People who care, people who listen, and beautiful memories that never fade. Happiness is not far away. It lives in a simple meal, in the warm hand of a grandchild, in the eyes of someone who looks at us with respect, and in the steady rhythm of our beating hearts. Gratitude does not make life less difficult, but it makes our hearts warmer and our spirits strong enough to walk through whatever remains. Every morning, take 1 minute to think of 3 things you are grateful for today. Maybe because the weather is nice. Maybe because you still have the strength to walk on your own. Or maybe simply because you have been given 1 more day to live. That 1 minute is enough to change the way you move through the day. Lighter, brighter, and more at peace. Old age is not the time to count what we have lost, but to cherish what we still have. It is not the time to regret the years gone by, but to thank life for allowing us to keep smiling. Joy is not a gift others give us. It is something we create every single day through the way we see, the way we think, and the way we choose to live. Smile more, even for no reason. Say thank you, even for the smallest things. Because when we are grateful, we remind ourselves that life, though short, is still worth living. And perhaps that is the greatest secret to a peaceful life. When we are grateful, we are happy. When we are happy, we feel young again. And when our hearts feel young, no matter our age, they stay as full of life as they were in the beginning. Epilogue. A gentle life, a peaceful heart. As we come to the end of a long journey, we realize, in this life, no one truly wins or loses. Everyone walks through joy and sorrow, gain and loss, meeting and farewell. What remains is simply the attitude we choose to live with. If youth is the time for conquering, then old age is the time for understanding. to understand that nothing lasts forever, and because of that, every moment becomes precious. Life never truly takes anything away from us. It only teaches us to value what remains. A small house, a quiet afternoon, a cup of hot tea held by trembling hands, and a heart that still knows how to love. That alone is enough. Old age is not the final stop, but the last chapter of a beautiful book. A chapter written more slowly, but filled with depth, forgiveness, and gratitude in every line. If there is one thing worth remembering, it is this: live gently. Do not let the past hold you back. Do not let fear keep you still. Each day we wake up is another chance to smile, to love, and to say a quiet thank you to life. When we are grateful for every breath, forgive our wounds, and find peace within ourselves. No matter how time passes, life will always feel tender and kind. And one day, when we finally close our eyes, there will be no regrets, because we have lived fully, understood the value of love, and kept a peaceful heart amid all the changes of the world. And perhaps that is true happiness, the happiness of someone who has walked through everything, yet still knows how to smile.